Welcome to the 10 Acre Woods. My name's Mark, and if this video looks different already, I have a new camera. So the end of last week, I was filming the end of the vlog, and the screen went out on my Sony Alpha 100 camera. So it looks like it's the cable that runs, it's the ribbon cable that runs from the camera to the screen, because the screen flips up. 3+ years of filming vlogs weekly, then it's taken its toll on it. So I do have a part coming, so it's supposed to come in a month or so. So we'll get that camera back up and running, hopefully. This is a new, the ZV-1, or as you call it in the US, the ZV-1 by Sony, and it has a side flip-out screen. So it's a lot better camera, and this one has an audio in jack, which is something that I've wanted for quite a few years, because one of the videos, the video that has had the most comments, or negative comments I guess we'll say, is a video we did a few years back where we did wool processing. And there was a lot of people in the house, and we had a bunch of stations going on. There was a lot of talk, and of course the camera picked up all the conversations as kind of one audio track. Now what I can do is I can take my wireless Go mic setup, and I can hook that up to this camera, plug it in, and say give Tyr the microphone so that people can hear the audio a little more clear. So this video is not sponsored by Sony. It's just the camera that I've kind of been drawn to over the years. If Sony, if you're out there and you want to send me a couple cameras, I will accept. So coming into the barn, now there is a pipe right up here. This is our fresh air intake that comes into the building, and there is a fan at the other end of the building. And I had noticed last week or 2 weeks ago that I put my hand up there and I couldn't feel any air coming in. So there should be a cross through, and that's really important when you have a barn, especially an insulated barn, so that frost doesn't build up. I pulled off that elbow up there, and I looked into it, and all I could see was frost. The whole thing was clogged up completely. So that's probably the reason why we had quite a bit of frost in this building, because it was having a hard time sucking in that cold, dry air and exhausting out. So coming into the barn, we have everything's nice and clean. So last week we went and cleaned out the barn, getting ready for spring. Hi, Mitty. Hi, bud. Yeah. So we do have another rabbit inside Poopits. She is a female. Mitty is a boy. So we definitely want to keep him separated from her. So we're going to have some stuff that we're going to be moving around. I've got Pluto here. I'm not sure why the Muscovy ducks here looks a little beat up. We did have some come in all together. So we'll have to check in on Tara on why she is in here. But usually what we'll do is we'll have a bunch of different pens, and we can move out some of the animals into other pens, which is an important reason to have multiple pens. You can see in here that we have, you know, a rabbit, we've got a little cull duck, and we've got a little rooster, and we have a Muscovy duck kind of all in this area here. So there'll be quite a bit of changes going on in the next coming weeks. Hi, Sheldon. As we move the animals around for spring, we have our female goats that are expecting. Yes, and they will go into these pens. Sheldon will go out likely into the front area where he usually goes, and so will Moira and Onyx. Hey, kids. What's up? Are you excited to get outside? Yeah, hi Moira. Hi girl. When Moira came in, you couldn't get within 10 feet of her. I guess this is goes to show what treats do. You want some treats? Is that what you want? And then of course Onyx came in. She was found wandering on the highway in southern Manitoba here, and she was lethargic, and she needed some TLC. So she's doing really well. And Fernando's going to be going outside, possibly even next week. Tara and I were just talking about releasing the ducks and geese out into the yard as the weather is supposed to be warming up. Here is our Muscovy area here. Now, we have Muscovies in here, these ones separated from the other that are outside, because these guys here came in on a rescue and we didn't want to mix them up kind of midwinter. We had room inside, so we decided that we would just go ahead and have them in here. Hey guys, now if you've been following us, you will know that we've talked about this many times. Muscovy ducks can't be outside below -10 degrees Celsius. They're just not built like traditional ducks, and they can freeze. So they need to be in an area where they're off snow and ice, and they can they're warmer. Something else we realize is we've got a light up here. Now, this is normally the chicken pen, and as you can see, there's some nest boxes on the side. We do have a timer that runs on that light there to ensure that these, these guys, the chickens, get enough light. And we realized they haven't been laying much lately, and, well, they don't have the light. They get a little spill-off light from that pen over there, but these girls just haven't had the light, so that could possibly be the reasoning why. We've got some guineas in here. Billy, which is our Polish rooster over there, who's kind of sneaking away. Tara had a little run-in with him midweek, and she ended up trimming his spur on the side of his foot because she got a little gouge on the bottom of her leg. So there's some guineas there, and we have our pigeons up here. So again, we'll be swapping those animals all around. So if you're new to the channel and you're not subscribed, I ask that you support us by clicking on that subscribe button. If you're a bell person, go ahead and ring that bell to get notifications on new videos. We do videos every week, every Sunday evening I post content. Sometimes we do midweek videos, depending on how much time I have to film and produce and edit it, and depending on what's going on. Hi girls. So I'm in the sheep pen back here, and I just wanted to show you this exhaust fan on how we have it set up. I've shown this a few times. This is an old Mercury thermostat, and what I've done is it runs on low voltage. So I've got a 12 volt plug-in here. There's a relay inside here that relays the high voltage, which comes through into this line, and then you can see how it's crooked. Traditional houses or thermostats are usually set up and down. It's because the minimum temperature you can see on there is 10 degrees Celsius or 50 degrees Fahrenheit. Well, we want it a little bit cooler in here. We want it just above zero, so I've kind of calibrated it by turning it sideways. And it's wired through this switch here, which is a low, off, and full on. And then we've got an exhaust fan here. So this unit comes on when the temperature gets a little bit too high. We actually don't heat this building. We allow the animals to heat the building. The body heat from the animals in here actually keeps it warm. And that's something interesting. When we first built this, we thought, okay, well, let's put some electrical outlets in each of the pens so we can hang heat lamps. Now, heat lamps are very touchy on a safety point of view because there's so many fires that can happen when using heat lamps. So we haven't had to use heat lamps. If I was to do all over again, what I would actually do is when we poured the concrete slab of this building, I would have run pipe through, so PEX pipe, to do in-floor heating. And we may still even do that down the road out in the shelter area. Because there's no heating out there, and if you can warm the floor, then you get the animals get the benefit of that along with the hay. So you also notice how this is pretty low on this end. So the end of this building is, I believe it's about 5 feet to this end. And then going over down to the far end, we've got probably about a 10-foot section down there. The reason why I wanted to design it that way is because, of course, of snow shed, snow weight, rain. but I wanted to keep it as low profile as possible because the less area inside, the less you have to heat. Now we have put Sheldon's hay, now that we've cleaned, we put Sheldon's hay up in this hay feeder, which he's enjoying quite nicely. There's a little bit of spillage that tends to come down from just, you know, pulling hay out. But he seems to be loving his hay. He actually eats more hay than both these girls combined. Oh, look at that, they're eating their hay too. So he's definitely a hungry little boy, aren't you, buddy? Yeah, you are. All right, so let's go have a look outside. We'll check in on the other animals here and see how everybody's doing. Oh, it's so bright out here. Oh, the sun must have come out as I was in the building. So we just came out and fed all the animals, so they're all in here having their feed. So we've got the sheep here. This is Daisy here. Then we have George. These are Canadian Arcot sheep. And then we have, who do we have here? We've got, this is Daisy. I've been doing that. Daisy and Turbo are very similar in size. This is Daisy and Tulip. And this over here is Turbo. Turbo's gotten pretty fluffy and round. So then moving over, we have Billie Jean, and we have Petunia, which just went around the corner here. We have our alpaca, Paula. Hi, Paula. Our alpaca are a little shy. We have Shanzi, and we have Marley. And then over here we've got Holly. Can't forget Coco, which is hidden down here, and Bronwyn. Bronwyn, we figure, is a cross, a Dorper cross. You can see that tail there. She is actually a haired sheep. She's not a wool sheep, and she'll shed off a lot of that once the weather starts to warm up. Then we have our boys. You can always spot them because they're creating havoc. So Billy and Carl. So these guys will be going back up front when we move the girls back, or when we move the girls inside. This here is Charlotte, and we have Blackie. So those are the animals that we have out here currently. And as I mentioned, we're going to be moving all of the female goats in the building, and then we're going to be moving Sheldon, Onyx, and Moira outside. This is a door here that actually goes out to this side here. So that is the door right there. It opens up, and then we have the front pen, kind of the greeting pen. So we are an interactive petting farm. We hadn't been open much last year. This year we're hoping things are going to be quite different. But when people come to visit the farm, they come in through that main gate there. And then they start off in this area where we usually have Onyx, Moira, Sheldon, all of our special ones. And then this area here is a smaller pen. So that is usually a nursery. So whenever we have smaller animals, maybe some guinea keats or some chicks, we've even got another enclosure right in there, and that's actually a satellite dish on top of it. So that's a fully screened gazebo or atrium, I think it's called, and that is yet again another area that we can contain and put some other animals in. So it is sunny. The sun, just came out, obviously. This is our pond here with our windmill, and that aerates the pond. It's currently disconnected because we don't want any soft spots in the ice over here. You know, there's a danger of animals possibly falling through, which is one of the reasons why we put the horses up front. Oh, yes, and I did miss a couple animals. I just assumed that they were sleeping. So, Petey. Hi, Petey. And we have Piper over here. Piper, what are you doing? So, yes, we cleaned out the building last week and the week before. The last 2 weeks we've been kind of working on it. Cleaned it all out. We put it all over here. and the pigs are really enjoying it, going through, and you can see how much they've dug it up. So they're going to spend their time in here. Usually they spend a lot of the spring and even you know, a good part of the summer just rummaging through and just getting the little grains and the little things that just got left behind. Then we have our ducks and geese. Hi! You guys enjoying the outside? So Tara and I were just talking about opening up this gate here. We've got this little door which we've kind of closed off with stone here and a little chunk of wood on the other side. We call this the duck door because this is where the ducks go in and the geese, but the goats and sheep and alpaca, of course, can't get through that small area. So, you know, trying to keep the animals out of each other's enclosure is, oh, Andy. He is always the protective one. Yes, aren't you? So we've got Czech geese, and this is actually a Pekin duck, and then we have the Chinese goose over here on the right. So they look very similar, but are different. So here you can see the barn and shelter from the outside. So this building here used to be part of, it came off of a mobile home when we first moved out here. And then we built on this section here, and you can see that slope where it comes down. And matching it up to the building, this section here actually slopes this way because, of course, the snow and water and whatnot comes off the top. And then we just closed in this area across here. Put poly. We didn't have poly up on here last year, but we found that poly lets in that sun, and it's actually warmer with the poly than it is with having plywood up there. So we've got our water here. We had our heater go on us last week. I mentioned this a couple weeks ago in a video. We have a heater in here to keep things defrosted. And you can, if you look close enough, you can actually see some steam coming off there. So this will likely be disconnected in the coming weeks, along with the one up in the pony area. Now this area here is also going to be all rebuilt this year. We are going to take some of this down, and we're going to put up some, well, I guess we'll call it an arbor. Now it's some metal racking that we got a couple years ago, and we are planning on, we've got some leftovers, and we're planning on just building something in there. It's very durable, and it's going to be an exciting time once things warm up, right girls? I was just coming in and noticed this is Turbo here. You can see his face with all the hay on it. And I'm thinking I was correct the first time because that's Daisy over there. It's usually, yeah, you know your name, Daisy? It's usually Daisy and Tulip here. These two came in together. So usually they're always together. So whenever I see Tulip and I see another one larger, you can see the size difference here. They're pretty much the same, but their facial features are slightly different. So, you know, they've been giving me a run for my money for months now. Whenever I see them side by side, it's tough to tell. So here is the back of that building, and again, you can see the slope. There is the addition that was on the back of the trailer, and that little building there was actually on the front. It was the front little mudroom area. And so that is the back side. Then we have our ponies. We have Meadow and Levi. What are you doing, Levi? I figured you'd just lie down and eat today. And Daisy. So these guys will likely remain up front here for the year and maybe permanently. We did have them in the back, but Levi can get a little bit rambunctious to the other animals. And when we have visitors in, he is very friendly to people. But, you know, if there's another animal in the way or something, he might, you know, get a little pushy. And they seem to be working really well up here. So they've got a few buildings. They've got the old chicken coop here that we've kind of fixed up and cleaned up. And then there is this building over here that we built a few years back, which works well because by putting the stud goats, Carl and Billy, back here, they have their own space. And you want to make sure that that all the animals have their own space, somewhere that they can go. Look at him. Somewhere that they can go to get away from the other animals. So they're relaxing here in the sun, enjoying their hay. So we have a bunch of roosters, and one of the topics in the comments is, how do you keep all those roosters in one area without fighting? That comment probably comes up more often than other comments. Now, not having hens in there is a big thing. They don't have anybody to fight over. So having all the roosters together, you will still get some tuffles from time to time, but it's just, you know, trying to determine who's alpha. Now, like I mentioned about having some space, you want to make sure that you do have some areas that you can put troublemakers or injured birds to get them away and then reintroduce them later. So having them all into a small tight area, you're going to get some injuries, you're going to get some death happening. So just making sure that if you are planning on having a little hobby farm, that you first plan out where you're going to put things and different ways of putting up dividers to close up and close in certain areas for new pens. I'm down in our basement here, and what I've noticed is I edited a little bit of the beginning of the video, and the audio from the front of the camera seems to be better than the audio behind the camera. So there's a wind guard that goes on it that I've now taken off, so that might have been blocking it from the back. So we'll have to see how that goes. It's going to be a learning curve with the new camera. Now you can see up here there is a new light that I've installed. Back further there is the pot light. Now we didn't really have a lot of light down here, and this is our craft area. Tyr calls Nature's Craft House. Tyr has all kinds of paints and glues, and this is one of our more recent projects that we've done. So this is Yardsy or Yahtzee outside. So we've laser engraved them, 10 Acre Woods, Nature's Craft House. So we've got a whole bunch of these here. Here's a wool carding machine that we've used. We've got a couple of those. We've got some followers had done up some paintings here. So they brought those in as a donation. We do sell a lot of these items here at our shop, which we're kind of trying to build and figure out for the summer months to have a space for it all. Tiana's done some earrings, so there's some peacock earrings here. And then we've just got some other little knickknacks around. This was our last one we did, Frustration Rummy. We raised over $1,500 by building these, and we had a big turnout of those. Some more earrings here. This is something that we've ordered. We found that we didn't sell a lot of these. You know, once in a while we would sell some here and there. We ordered a bunch of containers. And we've sold about half of them, I guess. These are just some work attire that Tiana has made just for when you're, you know, you don't get any paint or anything on you. And here's some other shirts and different things that we've had. Hi, Lucifer. How you doing? You want to be in there too? One of our many black cats. And then just some other things that were donated in. That we can sell off if people are interested in those. We have done paint nights, so these are some canvases. Of course, they've been sitting there for a while now because we haven't been able to do any get-togethers. Seeds, so there's a bunch of seeds down in here, and then so you can kind of see the lights here. So these are LED light panels that I picked up. And I think I'm going to pick up another one for down there, and then of course another one for here. It just gives so much better lighting in this area, and we want to do so much more with this space. This is actually an air hockey table with a sheet of plywood on it, and then of course we've got our drill press and our tools down here. And then, of course, our laser engraver over here as well. So we are going to go down. That's just Maggie upstairs, probably barking at the wind. We're going to go down here and see Tyr. Tyr is our rescued cat that we got in. Hey, buddy. Are you in here? Oh, you're in here. You're in your favorite spot. Let's turn on some light. Yeah. So he's still pretty shy. Turn on the light here. Oh, yeah, buddy. So he's been in for, oh, I want to say about 4 weeks? 5 weeks? Hi, buddy. So he is, well, he's doing good. So he's meowing. He's scared, of course. He doesn't know what's going on. And it's all new to him since he was a feral cat. He was found in the city. The people that actually found him, they saw him around as a feral cat, and there was no concerns. But he developed an injury from, we're not quite sure where. It's on his other side. So the homeowners where he was hanging out hooked up a live trap, caught him, and then took him into the vet. Now he is black, and when the Humane Society had called to let them know that he was going to have to be put down because he is a black cat, and black cats are generally unadoptable. So which is probably why we have now 6 black cats here, because, well, we'll adopt them. Hey, buddy? Oh, yeah. I have some treats. Why don't I brought some treats down. He's probably not going to eat them. Here, look. Can I just put those over there? There you go. He's like, what'd you throw at me? What is that? Yeah. Does it smell good? Yeah. Maybe you'll eat those later when I leave. But his demeanor has changed. He is not so wide-eyed. Oh, there we go. He's going to eat it. Oh, feel the love with treats. Yeah. So he's just kind of letting us know that, you know, he's still scared, but it's going to take time. It's going to take, you know, he may never come around fully, but, well, to humans anyway. He might work out with other cats a little better, but who knows? We'll see how Tyr does. There we go. Lots of treats, right, Tyr? Lucifer always wants to be in the shot, doesn't he? Oh, maybe, oh, light. Light. This is a little, if we get the light right, there we go. So it's reflected off my watch that you can see in the shadow. So we have to be careful with our jewelry around this little boy, because any kind of light he sees, where is it? Where'd it go? Oh, it's gone. So Tara's been busy today, and she has been working on little booties.
You like my broken glasses?
Yes, she needs another pair of reading glasses because they seem to be broke.
2 pairs in like 2 days, but they're older.
Yeah, and you've said you've got a few pairs around.
Yeah, I just picked them up at Dollarama.
Yeah. So what have you got? You got some little booties here.
Little booties. Yeah.
So this is what...
3 to 6 month old, and 3 month old. 3 to 6 month old. And then I just work off a pattern. Figure I might as well. I'm out of stock, so we sold all of them. Yeah,
whenever she makes these little booties and mittens too, she tends to sell out of them. So we are getting out of the season, but hey, they're cute, right?
They are, and I've got this. I got the material, and might as well get it done. And it's cool. So then I'm making inverted. So these were so cute. but now I'm going to make them inverted. So they're white, but the pattern's on the inside.
All right. Okay.
Yeah, these are my favorites so far. They look like little elf, they look a little fluffy. Yeah, it's cool, it's fun. And so I got the patterns to make the little moccasins. I just increase it for size-wise. So this is the pattern that I have. Increase it for the next size, and you just keep going up. I have all the moccasins pairs. I have them all cut out. I make templates so that all I have to do is cut it out and make them.
So I hope you enjoyed this video. It was a little challenging with the audio. I hope it's better now, so I haven't checked it since I took that little windsock off the top. Maybe in the future I'll use just the wireless mic. Who knows? A little bit of a learning curve going on. So from all of us here at the 10 Acre Woods, we hope you enjoyed this video, and we'll see you next time. Take care. Stay warm, stay safe. Bye-bye.